Welcome to Youth Force Chronicles. My name is Mr. Joe, and this is the podcast for teens by teens, where we learn about jobs and careers. Today, we are interviewing JT Lemons.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's get into it.
The only question is, what does he do?
I don't know.
Yeah, let's find out.
Are you ready?
All right. Wow. Okay. All right. Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
How's everybody doing today?
Wait, who are we talking to?
I'm talking to everybody here in the room here.
But we haven't introduced them.
I know. It's all right. We got.
Okay, so
go ahead.
My name is Mr. Joe. Next to me, I have
James.
Yeah, and I'm Crazy J. And today's guest is.
Oh, you forgot his name, did you?
No, I didn't. I actually went out of order here. I think that we're supposed to talk about fun facts first. I got excited because I'm really excited about our guest today. So right now is the time where we do the what is it, Joe?
And you still just not going to say his name?
Yeah, well, I was waiting for the part, but please take over.
And then our special guest for the day is JT Lemons. Everybody get up for JT.
Woo, 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 woo. All right, yeah.
This is me trying to give him applause.
Yeah, Amelia's out today. Our producer's out today again, so we got Noah behind the mixer, and he doesn't know how to push the buttons yet. So he just knows how to push record and then get everything going, which is great. So yeah,
they grow up so fast.
They do.
But anyway, so we're about to get into fun facts for the show. With fun facts, we like to tell everybody something new about ourselves. And we have this rule of saying, if you can't come up with a fun fact in 10 seconds, Jason or I gets to make something up for you.
Yeah. I just got off for probation from that, so it's okay. Not legal probation, and I'm just kidding. I didn't really.
And anyway, we're going to get into fun fact. So, fun fact for me is, what is a good fun fact about me? I broke a chair once while eating food, but the fun fact is that I didn't spill anything.
Not a morsel, not even a drop of his drink. It was the most amazing. It's probably one of my most favorite stories about Joe. Oh my gosh. James, what's your fun fact?
I ate an apple today.
Ooh. So you're not going to the doctor anytime soon then, I guess.
What kind of apple, though?
School apple.
The school apple?
Mm-hmm.
School apple?
Do you not know your apples?
No,
I know
don't.
Fuji, yeah, or the golden
I
apple.
honestly did not know there was different types.
What?
I mean, I knew there was a golden apple because of Minecraft, but
Minecraft, man, I can't play Minecraft. It's too. Anyways, a fun fact about me is we've planted a garden at our house, and I've got some vegetables and fruits growing, and I've spent the last weekend was Elevate. So in my downtime, I spent a lot of time in the garden and just tearing up our backyard. And so this is a funny story real quick. I was raking these leaves because we have these awful walnut trees, and the leaves get really layered on. And I was taking a blower and I was blowing the leaves from this really dense part of my backyard. And I about jumped out of my skin because underneath there was this squirmy looking thing. And it was like this big. It was only 3 or 4 inches. And it was all shiny. And I'm like, what the heck is this thing? And I thought it was a snake. It turns out it was a daggum, a action figure of Godzilla's tail had been cut off. And so, but I had screamed like a little girl when I found it. It scared the mess out of me. And all it was, and then I thought it was a giant leech, but then I was like, that's not real. So anyways,
I was about to be even more excited if it was a snake.
Yeah, I probably would have. I would have. Anyway, I would have destroyed it.
Anyway, let's hear from our special guest, not Mr. JT. What's a fun fact about yourself?
I I recently purchased a Mach E Mustang, electric Mustang.
What?
It is fun to drive.
Yeah.
I love it.
You were saying earlier that it goes super fast. How fast does it go?
0 to 60 in about 4 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
Seconds.
Pretty quick.
That's about that silence there was about 4 seconds. So we would go from stop to go in that amount of time. That's crazy.
Dang. I feel like I can make it to the bathroom from 0 to 4 seconds if I really have to go.
And wasn't that like a full circle moment? Joe, wasn't it like a full circle moment for you too? Because you said, I'm trying. That was a full circle moment for you because didn't you have one long time ago too? Like when you first got a car?
Oh, yeah. One of my first cars in high school was a Mustang, 65.
Wow. 65.
Not electric.
No, yeah, absolutely not electric. Is it how long does the battery last on that?
They're guaranteed 8 years.
Well, I mean, like from traveling from point A to yeah.
250 miles.
Wow.
Ooh,
That's a lot.
that's a
But
good
it depends on a lot of factors, like
Yeah.
how fast you drive.
Yeah.
Like a real car.
Okay.
If you drive fast, you use your battery faster.
Wow. That's interesting. And there's charging stations like
Yeah.
all over the place.
I mean, it
Well,
would suck if it
they're
wasn't.
not as
Yeah.
common as I'd like for them to be.
Yeah. I thought you can't just plug it into your house. Like you just,
You can, but
Oh, you
it's a
can?
real slow charge.
oh yeah.
I've got a charging station in my house. It's 80 amp. It'll charge it overnight.
Why? I want to know why we haven't tapped into hamsters. Let's just spin on that wheel. Like they would, man, the amount, like if we had 100 hamsters on the hamsters wheels, the power that we could generate just would be phenomenal.
Why don't you do that with these electric carts?
The go-karts, yeah, we're trying to get those to be solar powered, but that'd be fun to like Fred Flintstone, like and then take off.
I mean, yeah, the last time we tried to work with hamsters, they ran away.
When did we work with hamsters?
That was a joke.
Oh, that wasn't a good one. Anyways, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
All right. Well, so we'll go ahead and get into our next segment, which is the career journey. We need a sound effect for that. We're working on it, but
just like angelic sounds.
so, well, actually, we need to get into the guess who part, which is we got to have James guess what Mr. JT. I'm sorry, it's my mom talking now to me. What JT has done his entire life for a career. What was that?
It's my phone.
Oh, your
Sorry.
phone. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. So, James, what we're going to do is we're going to play. It's a reverse of two truths and a lie. So he's going to give you two fake things occupations, and then he's going to tell you the real one. Okay, and then you got to ask questions about, like, only questions that the person of those professions would know to kind of see which one is the right one, unless you like happen to guess right away what it is.
All right.
All right, let's see how this works. So go ahead, JT.
I'm an emergency room nurse.
hmm
Okay.
I'm a walking mailman.
Ooh,
Walking mailman.
I'm a river outfitter.
ooh.
What was the last one?
River outfitter.
I don't know about that one. I think you were a nurse.
What makes you think that?
I don't know.
So you don't. So you think
My
that
best guess.
that's your best guess right now, isn't it?
Mhm.
You haven't even asked him any questions.
I don't need to.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Good answer. Good.
good answer, but wrong. The one that you avoided was.
Hold on, wait. I think
What?
we should have JT. Tell
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Sorry, JT. Didn't mean to steal your thunder. Go ahead. What do you do?
I'm a river outfitter on the Ocoee River.
Wow. What is that exactly?
Well, I take customers, or I arrange customers with guides and equipment, and they go down the river.
Okay, that's really cool.
So-
But there's
so in
something
other
more.
words-
Yeah.
In other words, just saying white water rafting.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
But like, there's more to the story here, right? Because there's something special.
Well, yeah, there's 47 years more story. And
Yeah. Because like, go ahead, tell them more about what it is that you specifically have to do with the whitewater culture here in Cleveland.
specifically,
Yeah.
I guess I was the first company on the Ocoee River
Yeah.
in 1977.
That's really cool. So you basically said, you know what'd be great? Let's make a company to where we put people on this, like people who come for vacation and just put them on rafts and send them down the river.
Yeah.
That's a great.
That sounds so much fun.
That's like a wild idea that I would have. Like,
Back then, nobody around here really knew much about it.
yeah.
And so I had a hard time going to bankers and getting loans. They didn't really,
Oh yeah.
they couldn't wrap their head around what I was trying to do. And then I went to a bank, Cleveland Bank and Trust in downtown Cleveland. And Sam McReynolds was the banker there, and went down into Sam's office, and he wasn't there, but his secretary said, just go on, sit down in there, and he'll be back in a minute. So I sat down, and behind his desk was like a 3x5 color photo of him and some other guys on a raft in West Virginia.
Wow.
So I knew then. I
So
said, well,
it's
I
like-
found the guy now. He knows what I'm talking about.
That's awesome.
It's so funny to me because, like, trying to explain an idea in an area to people or about it, things that they have not experienced could have been challenging. But then also the funniest thing just to be like, let me show you. Let me put you in a
Yeah.
raft.
Yeah.
Send you down the river.
So like, what?
Bankers they don't tend to do that kind of thing.
No, they're probably like, what's the risk here?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
so what was, I mean, cause this is like before Amazon, before any outfitter, like real,
For ESPN.
yeah, it was, well, well, okay. But this is before like you could go out and like purchase like rafts. Like, so how did you, like, where was the, like, how did you get it started? First of all, like,
Well, the equipment was somewhat of a challenge. I ended up going to Army Navy surplus and buying the boats, and then we would recover them with heavier material
Okay.
called Hypalon.
okay.
We'd have to glue it on. So we had glue parties where we
Blue part.
where we would glue this stuff.
Was this well ventilated places? Because
It had to be, yeah.
it'd be some kind of party after a while.
The funny thing about it, the glue was red and the material was white. So, you had red all over the white material, and it almost looked like blood.
Yeah.
So it wasn't real appealing to our
Flooding the river with the blood of. That's funny. So you would take the material and then cut it and then lay it on top. So you had to like reinforce it essentially.
Yes, right. Yeah. The Ocoee is kind of shallow in places, and it's hard on both.
Tear them up. Yeah.
Okay, so just to talk about this material, so how does that material necessarily work? Like what is it, or maybe what's the strength level and the importance of covering it with that material you were just talking about?
Well, it's a DuPont product called Hypalene,
Okay.
and it's a real strong, tough. You can't tear it, and it's got, I don't know if it's fiberglass reinforcement or what it is.
What?
It's tough stuff.
Right. And so it's meant to protect everything from like rocks, any like sharp objects that can be found in the river or when you're carrying it around places.
I was told that's what the astronauts, the inflatables that they have in their
Okay.
Sputniks or whatever,
Oh.
that's what they were built.
That always seems to be the seal of approval. The astronauts use it. Like, wow, it's good for me.
It's like, well,
Astronauts use this toothbrush. All right. They use it on the spaceship. We get it with laser beams. So, like, what I think is funny is that they would reinforce the military rafts with this stuff. Like, we're putting soldiers on this stuff, and it's like tissue paper. I was like, so would you think that they would have like the rafts would be sort of bulletproof or something with the?
Well, the rafts, they use most of them. They don't use them in shallow water. They're
Okay.
deep water.
Yeah.
You have to worry about abrasion.
So your first, did you go out and you kind of mapped it to kind of say, okay, was this around the time the classes of, like class 4, all that jazz. And was that established at that time, so you kind of knew like the what is the word I'm looking for? The experience level of like, hey, we're gonna take this family of 4 down the category 4 rapids and all that stuff. So did you have to kind of map that out, or?
Yeah, it was kind of a challenge, but people loved it. Even the kids. You have to be 12 to do the Ocoee.
Yeah.
When we first started, there were no rules, no regulations.
So that's
nothing. We kind of had to do that from experience. I think we started at 10, but then later on we upped to 12.
Yeah, because that's always been, that's always my favorite is when the rules get made. There was a rule that was named after somebody, like, because that's something they broke, but
like Murphy's Law.
Yeah, that's exactly. James?
So how did you get into all of this?
Well, I was living in Knoxville, and a buddy of mine was into whitewater kayaking, and we played intramural sports together, and he said, you need to try this. So he took me out on the lake in Knoxville and taught me an Eskimo roll, and so then we started going down and doing the Chattooga in North Georgia. And one day we were coming back, we came down by the Ocoee, and water was in the Ocoee. This was in September of '76, and that was the month and the year that TVA condemned the flume line and returned water back into the riverbed so they could rebuild the flume line, which took 7 years to do. So, we knew we had it for 7 years at least, but after that, we weren't sure what was going to happen. But anyway, that day we were coming back from the Chattooga and water in the river. I was driving my van, and we had some kayaks and a raft on top. And so we decided, we still had some daylight, so we decided to get the raft off, throw it in the river, and raft down the Ocoee and see what it was like. And, it was good. So the following year, we opened for business.
So you just went down one time. You're like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like, I'm gonna open a business where I take people down.
Well, when we started, I don't think we had any idea how long it would last. We didn't know after 7 years if TVA was going to allow us to continue to raft or not.
When did it come to the realization that, man, we need to get a bus, like, to get people up here? Like, how are you transporting people up to the mountain?
When we started, we were just using vans and pickup trucks.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
So,
Tennessee right there.
Come to work there, you had to have either a van or a pickup truck.
Oh, so okay, that's pretty cool. This is like, man, that's funny.
Hey, that's wild. That's actually that's such a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you're gonna work here, you're gonna be useful.
It's like the only requirement. Plus, you got to know how to swim.
Oh yeah,
we'll buy your gas, but
yeah. Well, that's cool. At least you paid for their gas. Some people wouldn't pay for your gas. Like just going up and down the hill. Sorry, I just had a brain fart. So with that, I'm sure there was already some safety precautions in place already. What extent did you guys go to? Did you have everybody wearing life vests and stuff to begin it? Okay.
You had to wear a life vest. Now, back then, helmets weren't required. So the first probably 2 seasons, we didn't use helmets.
That's pretty bold right there.
Yeah.
No helmets.
And we really never had anybody had any serious head injuries or anything like that. But But eventually, when we had some money, we started buying helmets.
Maybe get some helmets for people.
Quick question here. So, you were pretty much a self-starting small business, essentially, and then this business started to roar afterwards, after a few years and all that. What was the process of just going about having this business? So, like, what did you do to get it off the ground, and what were some of the things that you thought was highly important in like maintaining that business?
Well, naturally, back then, the most important part of advertising promotion was television, radio, and print. Of course, since online advertising, all that's come around, this completely changed that whole landscape. But I had cousins, I had relatives in the radio business, and they helped me some get started, get interviews, on radio stations in Chattanooga, Knoxville, Nashville, Birmingham, Atlanta, all over, and also some morning TV shows. They'd put me on there, and I'd go on, have a helmet, jacket, and a paddle with me, and they'd interview.
Oh, that's funny. You're like,
Because
come on down to
back then it was
JD's.
Yeah, back then it was new, and people, didn't know much about it, so they were happy to put me on. So we got a lot of free promotion.
I imagine that kind of it took off because it spoke to a lot of people's like that primal like adventure feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so
pioneer spirit.
Yeah, and it just like, oh my gosh, you got to come try this, and then word just spread around, and then the rest is history. And then everyone's like, hey, that's a good idea. I'm gonna go start one up there too. Like we're gonna be closer to the top. Like,
yeah.
Well, that's incredible. So, so advertisement is one of the things that you had to use to maintain the business. So, what did you do to get it off the ground? Like, did you have to go to how many banks did you have to go to? What was the starting cost for that? And finding people to work. That would be the other thing. Like, how were you able to get people to come and help out to do this?
Well, as far as banks, I think I probably went to half a dozen banks before I found the guy here in Cleveland that had been rafting before.
That's awesome.
As far as finding employees, that was pretty easy. My friends, my age, pretty much. And, when I got them on the river, they were all gung ho. They said, hell yeah, we like this.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I mean, we can get paid.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I love it when people find that job. They're just like, what do you mean we get paid for this?
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool.
I don't remember who said it, but somebody said, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah, we've heard that quite a few times. Yeah, that's so true too. Like you just finding the passionate thing that you like want to do, and it's kind of, we've talked about it before, where this job feels that way for us and my team, just because it's so much fun. We get to. I boast that our team is the funnest team because we get to do stuff like this, and we don't have to handle the dramas of the normal days that happen and all that stuff. Teen angst, and I mean, we get teen angst, but for the most part, it's just kind of like being creative and having this venue of like helping kids find jobs that they're passionate about. So it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been really fun to just, I guess, focus on that. Like, everything that the Boys and Girls Club does is highly important, but I've enjoyed this aspect of just like, hey, like let's get to talk more about your future. Like, what is it that you really want to do?
When I was a kid growing up in Cleveland, we didn't have a Boys and Girls Club. We just had the YMCA.
I haven't been there in a long time.
Yeah.
But I was reading the local paper there in Benton years ago. This has been, I don't know, 15 years ago, maybe. And I saw an article, a picture of some kids and a lady, and the caption said Cindy Hooker at the local Boys and Girls Club. And I had no idea there was a Boys and Girls Club in Benton.
Yeah, and Hooker, and she's the one that the Benton Hooker unit is named after.
So I went and looked her up.
Yeah.
Started doing what I could to help.
That's good. Well, we thank you for that, because it gives us opportunities to do what we do. And there's no other job funner for us. Well, I'm sure there is, but we love what we do, don't we, Joe?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, and everybody here does a great job.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So you set out, you have this idea. I assume did it take a lot of convincing, like to get your friends involved with that? And they're just, besides like the getting paid thing, but you're just like,
no. And like I say, it was pretty easy. If you've been down the Ocoee,
oh yeah,
you could imagine the early days when you're on the first wave, so to speak, how that would have been.
I had an awakening when they put me on the bull in the front.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I felt like Eat, Pray, Love, that movie with Julia Roberts, where she just kind of was like finding herself a little bit.
Saw it.
Well, you're uncultured, so but yeah, like So how many rafts did you guys start out with?
We had 4
4?
because I had 4 guides.
And that was the money you used to get the loan. Is like I need 4 rafts, or like what did all the money go to like start the business? Because you didn't have like a building per se, or how did someone book an appointment where you just set up in a parking lot down at the base of the hill?
The building,
It's like, come on guys, let's go.
the building that we are still in,
Okay.
we started in.
What?
It was a motor lodge. It was called Sugarloaf Motor Lodge.
Okay.
It was right next to Parksville Gulf Station, a service station.
Yeah.
And the same family, the Higgins family in Athens, owned the property and the business.
That's so cool.
But we started out with 2 rooms at the end of the motor lodge.
Okay.
And then the next year we had 3 rooms, and eventually we had the whole building.
Wow.
But yeah, the money went for equipment, rafts, paddles, jackets, t-shirts. We had to buy, some retail stuff.
Okay.
Shirts to sell.
Yeah.
And of course, you got to have insurance, phone, all that stuff.
Yeah. So the insurance company, like, how'd that go when you're like pitching to the insurance companies, like, hey, I got this business? Like,
well, when we started, we didn't have on river liability.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, it probably didn't exist.
Didn't exist.
Like, this is not a thing.
But, you had that auto insurance and insurance on the building and on the property and all that. So,
okay. Wow.
But I think I borrowed $10,000.
Wow.
First loan.
There you go.
That's incredible, honestly, because compared to now, you probably need more. Okay. So how much did the rafts cost back then compared to now?
Ooh.
The rafts we were buying back then were $500, and then it cost us probably $250 to resurface them.
Mm-hmm.
So we had probably $750 in them. New rafts now are like $3,000 to $4,000.
But you don't have to reinforce them anymore because they come equipped because people caught on to your idea.
Mm-hmm.
You're a trendsetter. That's what you are. Is there like an outfitter expo? Like some of these companies have like the conferences they go to. And we're like, one more rapid, woo! Let's do it. Let's get out there and ride the rapids this year. Do they like have an expo where you go and like test all the new equipment and stuff like that?
Yeah, I was just at one in Phoenix back in December.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's like some safety trainings now that you like it's an absolute must to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have Red Cross first aid and CPR, and trip leaders have to have wilderness first responder certification.
Oh,
so CPR, first aid, then
every guide has to have those.
Yeah, and then you said the oh my gosh,
trip
what was
leaders,
the troop leaders,
trip leaders.
What is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's like the head guy on that particular fleet of rafts.
So is it like parachuting? You have to have so many hours going down to have a certification to know what to do? Because I'm sure water conditions are.
No, it's not like that. It's different people have different levels of experience when they come to us.
Yeah.
To be a guide, some have some canoe experience or kayak experience, or just experience on rivers.
Okay.
And they pick it up quicker than somebody that comes in with no experience at all.
Ooh, yeah, that makes sense.
So, somebody with some experience can pick it up in probably 4 weekends. Somebody without it probably take, 6 or 8 at least.
Mm.
Wow. Okay. So I think it's time to go into our next segment.
Okay.
And that next segment is rapid fire questions.
I don't think you need to put the sound effects in there. Amelia could do that in post. Like you could just.
But they're always fun to do it yourself.
Okay, I'm just saying. Like Amelia can go ahead and put it in there. But anyways,
she's just going to give me the After Effects.
Okay, so how this works, JT, is we've got a set of questions here, and we're going to ask them, and you got to like first answer that comes to your head. You just got to answer it really quick, okay? And some of them might throw you off, and some of them might not. It just answer whatever your reaction is. We're just going to go with it. Is that okay?
Yep.
So usually we would have some sort of like intense music and stuff like that, but like I said, Noah's new. Way to go, Noah! Thumbs up. Put him on the spot.
No,
Okay.
we love you.
So we do. It's his first day too, so that's what's really funny.
So it's like they just said, get in a chair.
It's like, hey,
okay.
what are you doing this afternoon? You can hang out for a little bit longer, right? We're gonna train you some stuff. So okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna we can count down to 3, 2, 1, and then everybody can ask. But we'll just stay in the order. And so we have about a minute. Joe, do you want to get your phone out and so we could time that?
Yes, but we also have it on the TV.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, I see. All right. I see what you're saying there. So ready? Go ahead, Joe. You count it off.
Okay.
Since I can't count.
All right. Now, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. JT, favorite flavor of ice cream?
Vanilla.
Favorite movie?
Deliverance.
Can you read?
Did you say Deliverance is your favorite movie? Okay, go ahead. Who's your favorite?
No,
sorry, go ahead. Can you read?
Yes.
Who's your favorite author?
Tom Clancy.
Favorite book?
Hunt for the Red October.
Ham or sausage?
Ham.
Would you rather have no arms or no legs?
No arms.
What's your favorite beverage?
Non-alcoholic.
Yes,
Sure.
non-alcoholic.
Yeah. I knew it. We were going to throw him off. Yeah.
Coke Zero.
Coke Zero. Okay.
Favorite pastime?
Ooh.
Traveling.
Can you swim?
Yeah.
Okay.
Favorite superhero?
Superman.
All right. Oh, and time is up.
Oh, man. That was good. Which one was it that threw him off? Threw us all off, actually.
Can you read?
Deliverance. Is Deliverance your favorite movie because it was shot in Ocoee? Is that what?
We were talking about it earlier.
That's so funny. Did you help out with that movie at all?
No.
Oh man, that would have been cool.
I know some guys that did, but I didn't.
Oh man, that'd have been awesome too. Okay, well, Joe, what's next?
Oh, okay. So this is the point of the show where we just want to take the time just to get to know you, JT, a little bit more. And so, JT, what are some of the things that inspire you to get up in the morning and do what you do?
Well, I think the thing that led me into the rafting primarily was just seeing people have fun.
Yeah.
Get them on the river and show them a good time. Especially city slickers, they get out there and they're like in a completely different environment and they don't know what to think. But by the time they get down to the end of the trip, they love it. So
yeah, I met some dude who's been like a corporate guy his entire life, gets on this thing. He's like, man, this is great. I'm out here. I'm free. Let's move over here.
I'm not bounded by a desk or a computer.
I had one guy from Atlanta tell me at the end of the trip, he said, I hadn't thought about a thing for the last 2 hours except saving my butt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He said, and I pay my therapist a lot more than that, not to think about anything.
It is a humbling experience when you fall out of that boat. I tell you what, just wake up and then you're like, the way they tell you like to float down, you're like making sure that you're doing the thing that they said to do, but like you're fighting the urge to not swim because you're just like, I don't want to. Like you're just drowning in the water, but it's like just trust.
Roll over on your back with your feet downstream.
Yeah.
Don't panic.
Yeah.
See, my favorite experience was when I went whitewater rafting. I went with a church who won't be named, but
why not?
I'm just not going to name them.
Okay.
Out of respect.
Oh, okay.
But it was just funny because I was on the raft with some of the people from the church, and they tried to purposely just like get me ready, just like, hey, just fall in the water. And I'm like, no. So there was this one moment where the guide just said, hey, Joe. I'm like, huh? And he goes, good luck. I'm like, huh? So then I see everybody.
Jeez.
Like my first time falling in. I was like, oh no. And then I got back in the boat afterwards and I said, I'm not doing it again.
Because what's funny is like the thing that's the most, they're telling you not to panic, but the water immediately makes you panic because it's so daggum cold. Like it just sucks the breath right out of your lungs. You're like, oh, this is cold. Oh my gosh.
James, have you ever been whitewater rafting?
I think I have a few times. I was young, so I don't really remember it.
I think we need to take them this summer. I wonder if we can go. I wonder if there's anybody that we know.
I can help you.
Okay. All right, that'd be so fun to have him take us down the river. Do you still do it? Like, do you still go every once in a while? Are you retired or did you retire?
Yeah, I've retired.
Oh man, did they send you off like a Viking with like the raft and they?
Oh, that'll be my funeral.
Oh, okay.
Viking funeral.
Just get a bow and arrow.
That'd be sick.
A burning bow.
I want to go. Can they do that on the Ocoee? Can you do that? Like, is that not? I didn't think so. It's a national forest. But it'd be so cool if we could, though. Right? It'd be awesome.
We could try it on the lake.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, okay.
But don't you own half the mountain? That's what Derek told us. It's like
I
you.
used to. I sold it.
Oh, okay.
Sold it to the Nature Conservancy, and eventually it'll be part of the Cherokee National Forest.
Well, that's awesome. Is there any like? Okay, this is getting paranormal here. Have you ever like had any experience with like any kind of Bigfoot or anything out there?
No.
No weird. Okay. I thought
Seen bears and wild boar and
Lions.
wild turkey, deer,
Mhm.
all that stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Just no Sasquatch?
Yeah.
No Sasquatch.
I don't think he comes over here. I really think we're gonna find him someday. He's the best hide and seeker ever out there, but that's just me.
I don't know. There's other people who's good at hide and seek. Like me, for instance.
You are not good at hide and seek, Joe.
We haven't played hide and seek together.
Huh?
That
Yeah.
Eric Rudolph was pretty good at it.
Who?
Eric Rudolph,
Who's that?
the Olympic bomber.
Oh. Speaking of the Olympics.
The one that disappeared up around Murphy for like 3 or 4 years and they couldn't find him.
Okay. Oh, okay. So that's why he bombed it and left.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds familiar. So speaking of the Olympics though, like, did you have a part in that too? Like, I'm sure business kind of bumped up around that time because like everyone's like, I can do it.
Actually, the year of the Olympics, we were down because everybody thought we were closed because of the Olympics.
But afterwards?
It was on the upper section, not on our section. But anyway. But yeah, I played a role in bringing the Olympic events to the Ocoee.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I've never met an Olympic person before.
Well, I didn't.
Well, I mean, I know, but like, someone
Wait, so what did you
you sat at the table with him.
do to get the Olympics to
He wasn't.
There was one interesting story. At the time, I was president of America Outdoors, which is a national outfitter organization, and I was in Washington, D.C., meeting with some government officials and elected officials
Oh, okay.
about other things. But I was meeting with Al Gore when he was senator. This would have been about 1990. And we were I'd taken him down the river
You took Al Gore down the river?
in 1990.
Wow.
And so we're talking about the Ocoee, and the talk had just started about trying to get the Olympic events on the Ocoee since we're so close to Atlanta. It's just about 100 miles north. So I mentioned that to Senator Gore, and he said, that's interesting. An ex-fraternity brother of mine is in charge of that Atlanta Olympic event.
What?
And it was Billy Payne. I'd never heard of Billy Payne at that stage, but he was the head honcho for the Atlanta Olympics. So Al Gore calls his secretary and said, call Billy Payne in Atlanta. See if you can get a hold of Billy Payne in Atlanta. So about 5 minutes later, she comes and says, Mr. Payne's on the phone. So Al Gore picks it up and starts talking to him about having an Olympic event on the Ocoee River. And I think that's kind of the thing that got the ball rolling.
So okay.
world.
So that was your answer was a little humble. I had a little bit to do with it. I was like, I'm pretty sure your encounter with him helped that tremendously.
Well, I don't know. It might have.
So you mentioned taking Al Gore down the river. Is there anybody else, like
Tina Turner,
maybe celebrity wise, that you got to take down the river?
Took Jerry Reed and Lamar Alexander down the river.
Oh my gosh.
They filmed a commercial for Tennessee Tourism on the Ocoee, and that was
who was that?
79, I think, 1979.
I was taking a drink of water. Who was that?
Al Gore and Jerry. I'm not Al Gore. Lamar Alexander and Jerry Reed. It's when Lamar Alexander was governor.
Oh, okay. I was thinking they were sports people. I was like, I don't really know that one either. So it's okay.
A lot of people. George Bush has been down the river. Governor McWhorter, Jim Sasser, former senator from Tennessee.
Okay.
We took him down the river. John Carter Cash, not Johnny Cash, but his son.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, been a lot of people.
Do you know? So the guy that wrote Great Balls of Fire,
Jerry Lee Lewis.
yeah, he's a part of the Sutton. He has something to do with the Sutton. I think his children go there or something.
Yeah, Meg told me that. I've heard that. Yeah, I think one of his grandsons.
Yes,
or great grandson. I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
The real question is, James, do you know any of the people that he mentioned?
I do not.
I just really wanted to know. I'm like, how
Not
much?
even Al Gore.
No, I do not know who that is.
That was way before him, little baby. Al Gore was the vice president for Bill Clinton, correct?
Yes.
I won that one. Yes. But he also ran for
almost
president.
Became president.
Yeah, he almost did.
It wasn't for hanging chads.
Who? Hanging.
You almost
I
did.
thought you said. I thought you said hanging chads. I'm like,
That's what I said.
oh, is that the person's
It
name?
was a voting irregularity in Florida that changed the outcome of the election.
Oh, stupid Florida people, man. I'm from Florida. I could say that. Born and raised Daytona Beach, Port Orange, Florida.
Orange.
Port Orange.
Where's that?
So you see that it's like 95 goes north to south. And so you have Jacksonville, you have Flagler, which is like St. Augustine, and then you have Ormond Beach, then you have Daytona, then you have South Daytona, then you have New Smyrna, and just east of just east of Daytona, there's a little town called Port Orange, and like you have to drive through
East of Daytona, that'd be in the Atlantic Ocean.
So, well, yeah, but like, if you think of like, so going towards I-4, yeah, going towards I-4. I know I was like, wait, that doesn't make sense. East, west. So the west. That's right. I see what you did now. That's because he's a river person.
He's like, I know.
He's like, he knows his directions. Ever since I moved up to Tennessee, like I stink at like knowing where I'm at now. But anyways,
I know downriver. That's all.
Yeah. So just west of Daytona and right before New Smyrna is Port Orange, and it's kind of a small town. But
how far is that from Cocoa Beach? I'm going to Cocoa the 16th.
Cocoa is right below New Smyrna. So like it's New Smyrna. Well, no, Edgewater. There's a couple counties before Cocoa Beach, but Cocoa Beach is directly across. Like you could go to Cocoa Beach and then be at Disney within like 45 minutes or so, because it's like a direct line. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but the space program's there.
Mm-hmm.
It was at some point. I don't know if SpaceX keeps launching there.
They do.
They do? Yeah. So that was an experience I saw when I was an elementary kid, was seeing the space shuttle go up. My gosh, that was like, you're way over here. It's just as bad. It's just as cool as NASCAR. Like, I don't really like racing because it does a lot. It ruins my birthday because my birthday's around like the time. So Bike Week and NASCAR were the two ones that I hated the most, because Bike Week was right after my birthday, and then racing was right before my birthday, and so that was always my mom's excuse to not have a birthday. It was like, it's race week, just to be so many people there. I was like, oh man, whatever. But I would love to. I want to take the kids on one of our career trips down to NASCAR, because like going to like the race car experience and like get one of our kids to drive inside a race car would just be nuts, because those cars you can feel. That's why they call them Days of Thunder, because like I live like 20 minutes away from the racetrack, and I grew up hearing outside my house, you hear just going around and around and around. It is nuts. Like it's a crazy feeling when you're there.
Years ago, I drove one at Bristol.
Yeah.
That was
You drove a race car?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. You're just a well-rounded man here. What else did you do?
Shoot, it's like, it makes me wonder. I'm like, Boys and Girls Club of America if you hear us, help us with this college road trip.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
Career road trip, Joe.
Career road trip. We want to go to Florida.
It's not. I have a lot of connections down there that we would have a really great time still, because a lot of my people are older enough. It's just the money to get down there is, because we could stay at some of the churches that I know and just sleep in and it'd be awesome.
We just need the resources, Boys and Girls Club of America.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
But anyway, does anybody have any last questions?
I have a question.
Ooh, James has a question, everybody. Sorry.
What makes you you?
Ooh.
James coming out of nowhere with that good question.
Let's say 3 questions the whole show and then drops his bomb.
Well, my career's kind of defined me. I was so lucky. I was able to turn my hobby, something I love doing, into a career. Mm-hmm. Initially, I just thought it was going to be a summer job.
Yeah.
But it turned into a career. And I met a lot of good friends.
You probably have like a whole encyclopedia of that's a book of Google, James, of like stories of just like amazing people and different encounters that you had.
Yeah.
That's a whole other podcast in itself.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're interested, we know some people that can help you start one if you want.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, I mean, careers kind of define me, and marriage, of course. Married a wonderful person.
Yeah, Megan's pretty awesome.
Meg, if you're listening, you heard it here.
She better be. I told her I was coming here to do this.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, I told her too. I was like, "Hey, I need your husband's number. I want to have him on our podcast." And she didn't even say anything. She just said the number. That's funny.
She stays pretty busy. She doesn't stop much.
How did you guys meet?
On the river.
On the river? Like, was she one of your people? And like, you're just like,
no, she was dating one of my guys.
Oh, scandal.
It wasn't really very scandalous.
No. It just happened. You just like, it was one something. Was it the Tennessee summers, man? That'll get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I met my wife. I met her over summer too. Just something about them, man.
On the river?
Not on the river. I met her on Bumble. But we had mutual friends, and it was like a fun story. But that's other episode.
That's hilarious. Okay, so I got one last question for you, JT. With all the things that you know now and all that you have accomplished, what is one thing you wish you could say to your younger self?
I saw a Mark Twain quote recently. It said something to the effect that you'll regret the things you didn't do more than you will the things you do. So throw off the bow lines and take a risk, Mm-hmm. I probably would have I took some risk, but I probably would have taken more risk.
Yeah.
Risk reward.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And, I passed up a lot of opportunities that I could have had, that I should have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And anybody that tells you they don't have regrets, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I think everybody, if you've lived a pretty full life, especially if you're a small business person,
mm-hmm.
if you don't have regrets, you just haven't had the opportunities or something, or haven't had many opportunities.
That's deep. That's wisdom.
Yeah, that was a really great nugget to end on.
Nuggets.
Yeah, nuggets.
Yeah, like a wisdom nugget.
It's not a bouncy ball.
Yeah, not a bouncy ball. God, please don't get him started again.
Not
Joe.
A gold nugget either.
Is gold nugget? Is there gold in the hills?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We should go panning for it. It'd be fun.
Anyway, I'm Mr. Joe, and on this episode was James, Crazy J, and JT Lemons.
Good job.
This was such a great experience. Oh, and this is Youth Force Chronicles. Just if you didn't know, come and check out this podcast. Whoop, whoop. Anyway, thank you for listening. You can follow us on our Instagram and Facebook. It is youthforce_BGCOR. So be sure to check us out there, and we'll catch you next time. Bye bye, everybody.
Deuces.
Are you ready?